Disclaimer. Now, I've been doing some research on what are the highest paying dividends and, the best yields or best bang for your buck. And that being said, just because the yield looks good doesn't mean it is good. Now, me personally, I'm investing in every dividend stock there is. High, low, medium, the whole 9 yards. Some risky, some not so risky, some are safer than others. And I suggest basically investing in a safe bet for the most part, but go with the highest dividend yield and the safest bet. Now, they say that the average return for the stock market is 10%. So I would say I would invest in dividend stocks that are 10% or more that are low risk. Hang on. All right, for example, CANG. I haven't got all of the stocks listed in this tracker. That's one of my projects that I have yet to finish, but it'll never be finished. So this one so far is the highest paying yield in my tracker. So let's look at the dividend. The dividend is $3. Okay. The stock price is $1.12. Okay. So the dividend is basically paying almost 300%. Right? Am I correct? Yield 267%. 269 almost. Alright. But the earnings per share is negative 64. That's a red flag. You want your earnings per share to be more than the dividend. Preferably twice as much, but not necessarily. Just as long as they are making more than what they're paying out. So these guys are paying out more than what they're making. So that's kind of a red flag. Check in because I'm like almost to my delivery and I wanted to see what tank they wanted me to put it in. Alright, so ZIM. ZIM is one of my favorite stocks. However, right now they're paying more than they are earning per share. So technically that's a red flag as well. Now, up until this last quarter or so, their earnings per share were like double what they were paying out. So it was a good stock. Now it's upside down. And so now I'm a little concerned. But I have almost $2,000 invested and the stock is in the negative, so I'm actually losing money on the stock. It's supposed to pay out this month. It hasn't yet, which has also got me concerned, but I have faith. I'm supposed to make about $1,000 on my dividend. Okay, so if I do make this $1,000 or so this month, like I'm supposed to, then I'm breaking even. because my stock is down about $800, $900. So if I make another 1,000 next year, you know, if they're doing semi-annual, because like they were doing quarterly, but then they went to semi-annual. So in the next semi-annual sector, whatever it's called, if I make another $1,000 and then the company goes bankrupt, well, I'm not out any money because I've made all my money back that I lost. So that's one reason why I like dividend stocks. If you make back all the money that you put in dividends, then the rest of the money is just whatever money, right? And then if the stock goes up, you make a profit on the cash value side of the stock. And if the stock goes down, no big deal, you made your money back on the dividends. And if it keeps paying dividends, then you keep making money. So right now is the time to buy ZIM. However, I'm not sure I would at this moment in time because of the war that's going on over there, which is probably why they haven't paid out yet like they were supposed to. They may be having to reorganize, regroup, and relocate their business. Now, I haven't looked into what's going on because I've been busy with my own life, but I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens. But this would be my biggest loss if they go bankrupt because of the war. But war tends to make money. So they may not this company, but their country may be, or the other country that's going after them. I haven't even kept track of the politics of the whole thing. But you know, the whole war thing may just be an agenda to generate more money. It's like, I can't remember which war it was. I think it was World War II. The U.S., the country I live in, created a war just to get us out of the Depression. So, yeah, war equals money and population control, but we won't go there. Yeah. Money, power, population control. I think that's like the top three agendas of the elites. But I'll leave it at that. Back to dividend stocks. So, I invest in every dividend stock there is. Do I suggest you doing that? Maybe, but you know, I would put more money into the safer ones and less money into the higher risk ones. However, the higher the dividend, the higher the risk. So what I do, for example, ZIM was the exception, but now that they have fallen into the red flag category, when I get paid, if I get paid, I will only be reinvesting $268 because that's the percentage that the yield is currently at. And then I will invest the rest into other stocks. Stocks that may or may not be more secure. But basically what I do is I look at the dividend yield. Let's say AVA, for example. The dividend yield is 72%, 72.69%. So I would throw in 73 bucks if I got to 73 bucks. If not, then, you know, I might throw in 20 or 10, whatever, you know, I can afford. Then, when it pays out, I'll basically just reinvest, you know, the money that I make off of it up to whatever the percentage yield is. So, say it goes up to 75%, I would reinvest $75 if I have $75, and then I take the rest and reinvest it in something else. And that's how I basically do it. So if it only pays 1%, I only invest $1. If it only pays 2% or 2.5%, I'll still only invest $2. If the return is, say, 2.69, if it's over 2.5, I'll round it up. If it's under 2.5, I'll round it down, as an example. So it's hard to see with the sun glaring and everything. I'm getting close to my delivery, so I'm just trying to make this quick. So there are safe bets and there are risky bets. So what I suggest is focus first on the safe bets starting at 10% or more. So let's see. All of these are pretty much risky except maybe this one. Okay, so these guys have their earnings per share at $41.10. The share price is $64.69. So they're making $41.10 above and beyond the stock share price. And they're paying out $27.10. So they're only making, you know, like $15, $14, and then they're giving you the rest. And then their yield is 42.91. So with them, I would throw in another $43 if it'll let me. Some of these stocks will only let you buy per share, and some will let you buy in dollar amounts. So if it would only let me buy per share, then I would buy basically one share, because this is a good stock. And maybe I'd buy more if I had more money. But this is a safe bet, because their earnings per share is more than the dividends that they're paying out. Now, I don't know what the PE ratio means and how to read it. But what I understand, if it's in the negative, it's bad. If it's in the positive, it's good. So you can look at that as well. Because some brokerages won't show you the earnings per share. They'll show you a PE ratio. I got to do some more research on the PE ratio and what that means. But yeah, I think Robinhood will only show you the PE ratio, not the earnings per share. So that's why I have this dividend tracker. And I can just basically use the dividend tracker to keep track of all the stocks between all the brokerages, because you cannot invest in every stock through every broker. I started out with Cash App, and then I found out that ZIM paid a really good dividend, but I couldn't use Cash App or even Edward Jones to invest in ZIM. So that's when I started using Robinhood. And I use the tracker to keep track of basically everything. So Ameritrade got bought out by Charles Schwab. So I went and created a Charles Schwab account and moved all of my stuff over from Ameritrade over to Schwab. I don't have any actual stocks there, but I did put some money there. Ameritrade was charging like $7 per trade. So I was basically stocking up my funds so that I could make it worth my while. But then once Schwab bought them out, now the fees are either zero or a lot less. But I've noticed that there's not a lot of high yielding dividend stocks in Schwab. So that may not be a good place to invest. Now, two of the gurus that I follow on YouTube suggest Webull. So I finally set up a Webull account. I'm still waiting for them to approve my money market account, I guess is what it's called. I don't know. My brokerage, my checking account type of thing. So I went ahead and opened a checking account, so to speak, because every one of these brokerages, you have to have some sort of checking account or brokerage account in order to transfer funds and to buy stocks. So I just set that up today and waiting to get approved. Once that's done, then I'm going to start using it as well. And basically what I'm doing is I'm just going to start with the highest paying dividends, buy at least $1 worth of each one, whatever, you know. If it's a high risk and it's a high yield, like 100 and some odd %, I may not invest 100 and some odd dollars. I may just invest 10 because it might be a high risk, you know, depending on the earnings per share. So, or the PE ratio. So I'll have to go in and look at everything to make sure whether or not it's a high risk or not, to determine how much money I'm actually going to put in. But when it's making more than the percentage that it pays out, so like say it's paying out you know, the 42.91%, and I'm making $80 off of it, you know, then I'll go ahead and put the $43 back in and keep the difference, and then reinvest the difference into something else. Or if I need the money, I'll put it in my pocket. You know, just depends on what my needs are at the time. Right now I'm trying to invest every penny I possibly can. So yeah, anyways, I'm getting close to my destination, and my girlfriend called and I gotta call her back, so I'm gonna end this at that. But anyways, this is what I'm using: Cash App, Robinhood, Webull, Charles Schwab, and then my dividend tracker. And then basically just going in and entering in all of the dividend stocks possible into my tracker so I can keep track of them there. They didn't used to have where you could network your devices. For example, I had an older phone that I was using, and I have a lot more stocks in it, or what are these stock symbol companies? But anyways, I had a lot more companies in the tracker before than I do now in my old phone. So they have a login now. It doesn't work yet, or last time I checked it didn't work, where you can log in, and I assume that it'll share the information on all your devices. So then it'll basically sync everything together, because I've got this tracker on like 3 or 4 of my devices, and so if I enter it into one device, then it'll update it in all the devices. That's what I'm hoping they do. I love this dividend tracker. Oh, here's my exit. So I gotta figure out where I'm going now. I've been here once already, but I gotta make sure I make the right turn. But I got my work phone to make sure I make my right turn. Let me bring that up real quick. There we go. So anyway, cool. So now they have it to where I can sign in. So I'm going to set this up today, and hopefully, maybe, it works the way I think it does. So there you go.